Hey, Incredibles 3. I mean, let's get it. So alongside the announcement of Toy Story 5 at the D23 convention was The Incredibles 3. After watching The Incredibles 2, I can't really say that I'm opposed to more Incredibles. As a matter of fact, I'd actually love some more. But I also can't really say that I anticipate it like crazy either. The Incredibles 2 was a pretty decent movie, but I mean, it wasn't that great of a sequel. It wasn't that great of a movie in general. It didn't really expand the universe in a meaningful way. It kind of just did the first one over again. So with that being said, The Incredibles 2 didn't really have me pumped for an Incredibles 3. Now it sounds like I'm bitching a little bit, so it won't make sense whenever I tell you that I did light up like a little boy whenever I saw that the third Incredibles movie was coming. Because, you know, for the most part, it was really a surprise. If you've seen my top 5 best Pixar films video, you know that The Incredibles ranks among my favorite Pixar movies. More than that, actually, it ranks amongst my favorite animated films of all time. I also believe the first Incredibles movie is the greatest animated superhero movie to date. And I understand, plenty of you guys probably want to slap me because of the existence of Spider-Verse, but I'll always give The Incredibles that edge because 1, it's older and I'm a nostalgic motherfucker, and 2, because unlike Spider-Verse, the superhero aspect of The Incredibles takes a back seat to the family and relationship aspect of it all. That's what makes The Incredibles The Incredibles. The original Incredibles movie is the most mature Pixar film to date and has the greatest villain that Pixar has to offer. The Incredibles also proved that Pixar could be edgy. Up until The Incredibles, Pixar had only released movies that were rated G for general audience. The Incredibles checked off that PG box for them after 9 years of making animated movies. The Incredibles 2, it was a good movie, and whenever I say good, I mean good as in I'm biased and I know that there are problems with it and I'm just ignoring them. I mean, come on, it wasn't stellar or anything like that. The action and the graphics were amazing, and you know, that part of it all was worth 14 years, but was everything else worth the 14-year wait? If it was worth the 14-year wait, I would have seen it in theaters more than one time. I would have sat down and watched it more than a dozen times by now. I was 16 whenever The Incredibles 2 came out. I remember at 16 thinking that they could have definitely shit out a better villain than Evelyn Dever, or the Screenslaver, or vice versa. They were both kind of mid. The execution wasn't there. They could have done it a lot better. Evelyn Dever is a big reason why it was a problem. I mean, you knew that she was going to be the twist villain from a mile away. They weren't fooling anybody. You know that, and they kind of just did everything over again from the original Violet and Dash. They didn't get shit. The second one kind of tried to push for more edgy themes and dialogue, and it just came out less mature in the end. So as a fan, I really hope that this third Incredibles movie really captures the maturity of the first one. I'm still gonna bitch a little bit more about the second one. The character development of Violet in the first movie was completely disregarded for the second one. For that, you have to knock off points, man. Not to mention that Dash was just completely fucking disregarded. It was basically child neglect. We got to see him do math. Woo! Yeah, in the first one, we got to see him run on fucking water. Like, come on. The focus that they had on Jack Jack was great. You know, I loved all the scenes that he was in. I thought that the animation was flawless. I thought it was adorable. But you can't admit that Jack Jack wasn't there to pretty much carry this movie. On a little bit of a lighter note, I like how the roles are reversed in this one. We get to see Bob grow to be as big of a dad as he is a hero. There's more than enough expectations and wants from this third movie, though. A must for The Incredibles 3 is Brad Bird at director, and we've got him, okay? If we didn't, chalk it. More work has got to go into the writing for this third one. It doesn't look like 14 years worth of writing went into The Incredibles 2. Inside Out 2 was a better written movie, and the gap in between the first and the second one was only 9 years. These movies take a long-ass fucking time to make. The roles that each character plays within the Parr family is what makes The Incredibles at the end of the day. So if all the characters were to stay the same age in The Incredibles 3, I really wouldn't question it a bit. But I'm super open-minded to seeing them all older, too. I want each member of the Parr family to get their little individual screen time like they did in the first one, but I do want the same amount of action that we got in the second one. If there was one thing that the second one had on the first one and it wasn't graphics, it's the action scenes for sure. Like I said, we need 10 times more of Dash, and whenever Violet gets her screen time, whatever conflict she's going through has got to be fresh. I don't want to see her struggling to come out of her shell, and I don't want to see her gawking over Tony Rottinger again. again. I'm over it. As much as I love Jack to death, we might want to see just a little bit less of him in The Incredibles 3. I mean, if it means that we're going to get to see more of Dash, please take out a little bit of Jack for the love of God. And last but not least, what I would really love to see out of The Incredibles 3 is that superhero ban that exists within the Incredibles universe to be lifted. You know, the ban where superheroes are supposed to remain illegal because of the destruction that they do to property and the harm that they cause and yada yada yada. I want to see them move on from that. We all thought that it was going to be over after the first one, and we all think that it's over now after the second one. Let's keep it over. I want to see new, so I sure hope it is. Thank you guys for sticking through this far to the end of the video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. What upcoming animated movie do you want to hear my opinion on? Let me know down in the comments as well. Buddy, I'll see you on that next one. I damn near promise, I swear. Yeah, no.